The other day I did something that no other Persona fan can claim to have accomplished. I actually played the game. This was just the next branch of an obsession that started last summer when my friend left for vacation and left me with his copy of Persona 5 Royal. I played it non-stop for a week, and by the time I finished, my body literally rejected sunlight, leaving me an emotionally destroyed wreck muttering, "For real?" on the ground as the sinking realization that I would never be able to play the game again became real. That was when I noticed something. Persona 5. Persona 5. Persona Q, Shadow of the Last. My main goal for this video is to have one consistent train of thought. There are a lot of things that could be said about Persona 4 and how it's aged, but I'll try and keep my thoughts in order and give a solid review from the perspective of someone who's played it almost 14 years later. Also, I'm gonna get spoilers out of the way first, so if you care about the murder mystery aspect of the story, click off now. The main point of comparison between the Persona games seems to be the difficulty and combat. Persona 3 and prior, you couldn't even control your teammates, which automatically makes every fight a boss encounter. Persona 5 was so easy I could beat it with my eyes closed. Except for Okumura, which made me beat my controller into the wall. Persona 4 was the first time the game was actually designed around having full control of every character, which is a super strong ability. To balance this, the developer said fuck it and didn't balance it at all. Around half the boss fights I played through began with my party members being like, "Alright, let's kick some ass," and ended with them begging me not to revive them for the 80th time. Sometimes I'd let them stay down, but when my strategy entirely revolves around Chie punting the enemy into orbit and cracking their balls, that's not an option. Speaking of teammates, you could really tell that some were just meant to be straight out better than others. Normally this is somewhat balanced with the fact that allies have a limited move pool and can only use one type of magic. Naoto said fuck that and learns heavy versions of every elemental attack, including light and dark insta skills, with Megadoleon as a severe almighty attack. If you don't know whether that's good or not, it's literally called a severe almighty attack. For comparison, you got members like Yosuke, who learn a move that buffs your party's agility at level 60. For comparison, a couple levels after that point, Naoto gains a move that nullifies all damage for a turn. It's called the turn-based strategy game, and it's Naoto's turn. There are examples other than Naoto, my queen, as Teddy and Yukiko fight for the role of Magic Nuker. But Teddy is obviously just better. He can double as a healer and gets every good move in the game, so he just straight up outclasses her. I mean, Reddit thinks he's bad, so you know he's amazing. Chie is great for weird crit-based strategies, but Kanji can just punch hard. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Naoto has no weakness. Honestly, the discrepancy between characters wouldn't be nearly as bad if there was some sort of XP share mechanic, like with Mishima's Confidant, but without it, the moment you find a character that is generally better than your old character, their good is dead, even if they have a super cool niche just 50 levels away. No one really cares about the side pieces, though. The real showstopper is the wild card, the main player. You could get Resist Physical from Slime before the first story boss, evolve it to Null Physical before the second, and slap that onto Narcissus at level 24 to either resist or be immune to everything. Seriously, I love the concept of Shuffle Time as much as the next guy, which... Actually, I don't know what the next guy thinks. I haven't really talked about this game with anyone yet. Do you like Shuffle Time? If I say yes, can I leave? No. The way Shuffle Time works is that after the end of some battles, or any battle ended with an all-out attack, a random set of cards appears, and whichever you choose apply their effects. Some have the XP or money received, but let you take 2 more cards. Some eliminate the items or XP you would have gotten, but you get 3 cards. And some, you're never gonna believe this, they give you 4 cards. In all seriousness though, a lot of the effects are pretty cool. Skill Change, for example, changes a random skill on your persona along a set path. For example, Agi will always become Miragi, effectively making it go from a weak fire attack to a weak fire attack that can hit every target. There are stat cards that straight up buff your persona too, as well as level up cards. In theory, this is great. In practice, I have an unkillable monster before the first boss. I don't know why they decided to let you level up endurance off the bat, but you can max out any Persona's defense pretty much off the bat. Skill change makes the game easy too, for one reason. Remember how I said it makes single target magic skills multi-target? It's pretty cool. But it just straight up makes physical skills better. I took Rampage, a weak multi-hit physical move on Narcissus, and evolved it 3 times to get Agneastria by the 3rd boss. For reference, Chie learns this move at level 70. I mean, you know it's strong when you can't even pronounce it. That being said, I never felt completely overpowered. Between my infinite health regeneration, mana regeneration, immunity to death, and the nuclear bombs I throw off with every attack, my sexy little flower man was more often than not holding the entire team together by a string, as multiple boss fights came down to just me smacking away at the shins of a giant monster. Call my ass the janitor the way I be sweeping through these enemies. The trouble is, just like the party members, the more you use a persona, the more incentive you have to just keep using it forever. There were multiple times when I wanted to fuse a new persona, but I would just end up losing like 80 stat points only for worse resistances. I mean, just look at my 2nd strongest persona. I mean, Jesus Christ, the enemy might as well kill themselves when I throw Pixie out. Combat's only half the story, though. The other half of the story is the story. Persona 4 is a paranormal murder mystery where nothing makes sense until the end. The first half of the game has the party on the complete back foot, with little to no information about the killer, except that they target women.
You like to sew? What a queer!
Never mind. They throw people into TVs.
Oh yeah. What do you guys think about King Moron's case? He didn't show up on the Midnight Channel even once.
If this person had been inside the TV, I would have sensed it.
Okay, there's no information at the beginning. The first confrontation comes in the form of Mitsuo, who violently kills his teacher, confesses to all of the murders, and then just runs into the TV to hide. Turns out he lied. He only killed the teacher, but the others were killed by someone else. A man named Namatame. That's also a lie. The murderer killed the first 2 victims after they appeared on TV. So when Namatame saw Yukiko and the others appear on TV, he kidnapped them and threw them into the TV under the impression that it would hide them from the killer, not realizing that that's how the first killer killed them. I'm being fully serious. I swear it's actually very compelling in the story, it just sounds goofy when I read it out loud. The real killer is... that's a lie. Well, not really. Adachi did kill the 2 people, and he is a horrible person. Like a little Discord kitten, he was technically being groomed to destroy the world by an eldritch horror. I know, it sounds a bit crazy, but I can verify this is in fact the most normal Persona plot. I wish they had done a little more with the whole murder mystery aspect of things, where, you know, you could actually, like, investigate, and it doesn't just feel like you're chasing after a shadow the whole time until you just randomly find, like, 3 suspects that all somehow are involved. But the main bite to the story is the social links. They range from, I don't know how to talk to girls, to, I am become death. Destroyer of husband. In all seriousness, Persona has a lot of odd and serious social links, like Kawakami from Persona 5 and Akinari from Persona 3. But Persona 4 is particularly wild. You have Nanako, a neglected child dealing with the death of her mother and trying to rationalize the absence of her father. Meanwhile, her father Dojima's link is about how he hides his emotions by burying himself in his work, and the pain that comes with Nanako reminding him of his dead wife and the guilt he feels in not being able to find her killer. Then there's the nurse who lost her meaning in the world and... wait. Oh god, this isn't deep, I'm just being sexually harassed. No, I don't want to sleep with you. No means no! Run immediately, free! There's also a fox, like the literal animal, and Naoto makes a Persona 5 reference. I just wanted to include that. One aspect I really appreciate is that the main characters also have some major flaws, and in some cases start out as straight up bad people. Especially in Persona 5, I felt like you kind of walked in as like this big ol' savior that would just do nothing wrong and immediately be friends with everybody, but this game gets straight up contentious at points. The aspect of having the shadow self reveals a lot about their inner demons. Yosuke is secretly resentful of being stuck in a small town and thinks he's superior to his friends for being bumpkins. Chie secretly loves feeling that Yukiko is dependent on her because she has a crippling lack of confidence. Kanji is gay.
So scary. Men are much better.
Rize doesn't know how much of her personality is manufactured by the idol industry versus her true self. Even after the main story introduces these flaws, the social links go into great detail in helping these characters truly accept and overcome them. Teddy finds out he's a shadow, something that causes him a great deal of trauma, but the team comes together to accept him for the way he is, except Naoto.
I'm sorry, Teddy. Only people have human rights.
Overall, all the stories were really well done, except for Kanji. Now don't get me wrong, he's definitely one of my favorite characters by far, but the game doesn't show him the same love. I joked about it earlier, but his flaw is that he's hyper-masculine to compensate for the fact that he has feminine interests like sewing and making plushies. That part is mostly fine. I mean, with the advent of literal femboys, it's very dated, but my main concern is how they treat the sexuality aspect of it. No one I've seen online can figure out if Kanji is gay, bi, or just straight up confused. He has a crush on Naoto when he thinks she's a dude, but still kind of has a crush on her after she reveals she's a girl, but like doesn't know if he likes her because she like looks like a dude and is in drag, or it's all over the place.
Sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking pronouns! Fucking gender ambiguity!
There's nothing inherently wrong with that, it's just the main issue is how everyone else treats him for it. Yosuke in particular picks on everybody, but he's just straight up mean with Kanji. Like there's a scene where they're out camping and Yosuke seems genuinely concerned that Kanji is going to touch him inappropriately while they sleep, and your only dialogue options imply that you agree with him. Of course all that gets resolved when the gang has a threesome, but still.
Whoa, dude, stop it! What the hell are you doing? Quit fooling around!
We have to find out, right, Senpai?
No! Sensei, stop it! You'll fall in!
Hey! What do you guys think you're doing? Senpai, no! Don't leave me!
Overall, there's not much else to say. It's a good game. The dungeon design can be a bit repetitive as it's effectively just going up and down stairs with some occasional ASMR, but other than that, it's a great game and I'd highly recommend it to any Persona fan or JRPG fan in general. And with that, I'll see you dudes in the next video.